Freedom, food, and affection, three really important resources for you as a dog owner to manage day to day and utilize in training. Now, in previous videos of this series, we've already covered how to maximize the potential of food and freedom. So if you've missed those, please go and check them out. Affection is obviously a huge part of the loving relationship we have with our dogs. This brings us such an array of positive, happy, healthy emotions, and it's pretty obvious our dogs feel the same way too. But like all good things in life, too much of a good thing can be bad. And this is especially true of dogs and affection. Here's a couple of top tips that are really important to bear in mind if you've got a new puppy in your life or family. Look, they're also relevant to older dogs as well. Top tip number one, hug your dog, love your dog, but not so much that you create separation anxiety. Separation anxiety is when your dog becomes so dependent on you and the attention you give it that it can't cope when you leave it. Look, it's always exciting when you're introducing a new dog to your family, especially a new puppy. Everyone wants to spend time with the new cute family member, and we want the puppy or new dog to know that they are loved, and that's all perfectly normal. However, it's important to have a little reality check and realize that the levels of attention and affection that the puppy or new dog get in the first few days or weeks are naturally going to drop off given the demands and pressures of life. Puppies or new dogs in an environment will naturally latch onto or life raft a person or people, and we can quickly become emotional crutches for them, especially if they're used to having our attention all day, every day. So back to the top tip, make sure that your puppy or new dog gets used to spending time on their own without your attention right from the start. That doesn't have to mean leaving your dog alone necessarily, although that is important too. Simply ignoring your dog and letting them get used to entertaining themselves is good practice. Crate or bed training is another useful tool in training dogs to self-soothe, but don't just use these at bedtime. Remember, your dog needs 7 times more rest than you, so build that into part of their daily routine. Top tip number 2, socialization is obviously really important for your dog, but make sure you don't overdo this with people and the attention, affection they give your dogs. The reason that most dogs go berserk when guests arrive is because they're used to being the center of attention when this happens. This is so easily avoided, especially if we as humans exercise some self-restraint. Guests ignoring dogs when they arrive is easy to do and has really good long-term benefits. Remember, locking your dog out of a room teaches them nothing. They need to stay in the environment and adjust their behavior. Top tip number 3, and staying on the socialization theme, when you're out and about, if your new dog or puppy gets used to having attention, affection from everyone they meet, they will quickly become activated or overexcited by people. This can eventually lead to antisocial behavior, your dog pulling on a lead, jumping up at strangers, etc. Dependent on your dog's character, it may be beneficial to limit tactile social interactions with people, especially if you've got an excitable dog. Your dog isn't an entertainment station for everyone you meet. It is okay to tell people to be hands-off with your dog. So we've spoken about how to manage affection positively day to day with your dog. The last thing we need to cover is how to use affection and praise as a tool in training. This isn't a new concept, and we're not trying to reinvent the dog training wheel here. People have been giving dogs a pat on the head and telling them they're a good dog for hundreds of years. We've touched on this in previous videos. A resource or reward is only valuable if it isn't always readily available. That's what makes it desirable. Some dogs aren't foodies and actually couldn't care less about toys and balls, and this can lead their owners to struggle to motivate them in training. Of course, the owners will use praise and affection as a reward, but if the dog has got constant access to it, then the results are going to be diluted. We aren't saying stop being affectionate with your dog. What we are saying is that for certain dogs, we should be dictating when and where that affection is available. Your dog is still getting the attention it loves, it just has to be there to get it. We hope you found this series of videos useful and informative. If so, please give us a like and a share. And if you don't want to miss out on any future content, hit the subscribe button with the notifications on.